and welcome to The Mix Programme 3, the series for people in NUI about NUI.
In this edition, we'll be catching up on the latest from Interaction and finding out what's been happening around the regions. We'll be talking to members of Interaction teams as well as conference delegates, and also tackling Chief Executive Patrick Snowball on what he thinks the Interaction programme has achieved so far.
I'll be getting to grips with the claims business, one of the largest areas within NUI, looking at their latest initiative designed to improve customer service and save over £100 million.
And there's more. We'll be hearing from the NUI board firsthand on their views of how 2001 has gone and their thoughts on 2002.
First though, your feedback postcards have continued to flood in, telling us how you think we're doing, what you want to see more of and what you'd like less of.
It seems we are keeping up our standards, with reaction to the last programme looking fairly good. 68% made positive comment, only 8% were negative and 24% were still non-committal.
Now, one of the most common issues is around featuring staff comment. You really like hearing everyone's views and opinions, but some of you think people are told what to say.
No, I don't feel that people are telling me what to say.
Would you say from this exchange that I've been telling you what to say?
No, definitely not.
Yeah, good, that's excellent. What do you think about that?
No, I don't think it's been staged.
You don't think so?
No.
It certainly looked that way in the first mix, that it was staged and that people knew what to have to say.
What did you think of the programme? What was the general reaction?
We thought it was quite...
It
was brilliant,
yeah.
yes.
It was quite good, wasn't it?
Not everybody loves the mix.
They do, don't they?
Everyone loves the mix.
Do they really?
Yes, they
I mean,
do.
everyone sort of across the board?
Yeah, everybody.
Everyone loves the mix.
They do, don't they? Yeah, it's amazing. We've been chatting to people.
No, you definitely don't tell us what to say.
Okay, thanks Dan, very much.
Okay.
Absolute pleasure.
Okay, thank
Wonderfully
you very much.
honest.
Cheers.
Wonderfully honest. Who would you say is the best presenter? I mean, Laura and myself.
You are the best presenter.
I am, aren't
yes,
I? Yeah.
you
Thanks so much. That's fantastic. Yeah.
Anyway, please keep your feedback coming and we'll keep trying to get around as many locations as possible so you have the chance to get your views on camera.
But now, as promised, here's what's happening on the front line of Interaction.
The map of the Interaction journey can be traced back to November last year, when senior management came together at a conference in Peterborough to examine the post-merger issues around morale and motivation. In finding the way to the right solutions, though, it's important to know where the problems really lie. So a massive survey of everyone within NUI was conducted to get to the root of the real issues. 49% of people responded, but the news wasn't great. The survey revealed an NUI population with low morale, little trust and even less faith. In fact, only 23% believed that anything would change. But it did provide the information and impetus needed to start making improvements. As well as national issues, the research identified regional concerns, and who better to tackle the grassroots problems than local people. 11 teams were elected from regional areas, and since April they've been working together to devise action plans, looking for simple quick wins as well as longer-term solutions. The Mix caught up with some of the team members to find out how things have been progressing.
The main priority for our region has been organising the Interaction Conference, which we've been heavily involved in since about the end of July. It's been a huge task, regardless of the number of people that's in your region, but it's been an exciting and challenging one nevertheless.
For our North East Interaction team, the priority since we've started was really to go out into all the different business areas and collate what are the concerns of the staff, and then to feed that back to the appropriate areas.
I think initially we had a few problems getting the team together, just purely on logistical issues across the region. But I think since then the team has sorted itself out and we are working well as a team.
The team's come together very well. There are 17 people working on the team and each of those people contribute different strengths. We've tried to utilise those strengths to make sure that the conference and everything we've done in Interaction this year has been effective.
And there are all these separate people, each with probably their own agendas of what Interaction was going to be. And we've worked very hard with our sponsors as well in trying to get the team working, and it's happening very well at the moment.
The most difficult aspects have been fitting in all the demands of Interaction with the day job, but the best is a sense of achievement when you see things starting to change and the impact that you're having around the officers.
The most difficult aspect is that we have a huge agenda to cover. We ran focus groups earlier in the year, and from that we have a list of actions, some longer term, some quick wins. So trying to cover all that is probably the most difficult aspect. At the same time, we're also spending probably about 100% of our time just now on organising the conferences.
Of course, although the regional teams are driving activity, a fundamental aspect of the Interaction programme is that it involves everyone within NUI. Is there enough support for the changes going on, and do people understand what the teams are trying to do?
In terms of support from the business areas, I think it would be fair to say, especially initially, we had a mixed response, but again we've been able to sort of pinpoint where some of the problems were in where the response wasn't quite as good, and we have in many cases addressed those issues and actually turned things around very positively.
It's varied, but for the most part everyone is supportive, some more than others. We get a lot of support from some areas. Some are happy to support the ideals of the Interaction team but perhaps don't have the resources, either time, money or staff available. But for the most part, yes, people have been supportive of it.
I think initially there was a lot of scepticism about what Interaction would actually achieve. But I think on a local level we've actually improved that a lot, and there's no way we could have achieved what we have achieved to date without the support and the backing of the region.
I think it's difficult to appreciate work and changes until you see what it actually means for you. So we've got a network of champions who are doing a really good job to make sure that those people who actually want to make a difference are seeing their effort rewarded through change.
To help people keep up to date with activity, a new Interaction website was launched in June, featuring a hot news page, plus regional contacts and monthly progress updates. Newsletters are also being published by each region to share local news and messages, encouraging two-way communication and understanding between local people and the teams. Every issue of Cover magazine features a review of progress from the Interaction programme, and more than 1,600 people attended the latest round of open Q&A roadshows hosted by the board across more than 20 locations. So how well informed do people actually feel? And more importantly, do they think it's making any difference? Well, the mix went to Birmingham to find out.
No, I don't know what's happening in the Interaction programme at all. Apparently we're due to go on some sort of programme next week with you, so we'll learn more about it then.
As a result of the Interaction programme, I feel that the company are trying to boost morale and are trying their best to get things better in the branch, but it is going to take a while.
So far things haven't really changed with the Interaction programme. I mean, it is early days at the moment, so we're just waiting for the feedback to come through.
It's a slow, steady change. I'm sure that people would like it to move a lot more rapidly, but a whole business plan and a whole understanding of what Norwich Union is about is a steady change.
So what else has happened on the Interaction agenda? Well, following the Senior Managers Conference, which took place last month, an ambitious series of regional conferences kicked off on the 12th of November, running for 5 weeks over 9 locations. It's been a massive undertaking, offering every single member of NUI the chance to attend and hear firsthand what's happening in their area. And of course, it's been quite entertaining too.
It gives us an idea of what the company's doing, because people take it for granted that you know what the other areas of the company are going to be doing.
We're finding out more about other offices and different branches.
I think they're very useful in terms of getting everybody together on site and understanding what overall as a company we're trying to achieve and to get everybody involved.
The best part of the day has been meeting other people from different areas. I found it quite informative.
Getting staff involved in delivering the message, I think there's a lot more buy-in now. So hopefully this is the way forward.
Finally, no review of Interaction 2001 would be complete without a word from the programme's biggest supporter, Chief Executive Patrick Snowball. So we sent special reporter Stephen Gardner to find out how he feels things have moved on from the last time he spoke to the Mix.
In the first Mix programme, you were stressing people's shared responsibility when it comes down to taking actions and making improvements. Do you believe that this is a policy that's now beginning to work?
Yes, I do. Communication is absolutely the heart of everything we do. Not only just communicating to brokers, to corporate partners, to customers, but as importantly, communicating to every member of staff so that everybody feels part of this organisation and feels valued.
What do you think has made the biggest difference, shown the greatest change so far?
Right at the beginning, I understood that the key issue that I had to focus on, and the team had to focus on with me, was delivering profit and promise to the shareholders and the institutions. And we had to do that above all else. But there are two other fundamental issues that we have in running this business. One is about service. If we cannot provide a good service, then we will not have satisfied customers. But really linked into that is the requirement to ensure that the morale and motivation within the organisation is good. And quite frankly, I'm the first to admit that it has not been good. But again, that is on the ascendancy. We have a long way to go. But if we can therefore have a balance in those three issues, then we really start to get to deliver this philosophy of this service provider with care at its heart.
Bearing that in mind, what is now at the top of your agenda?
I guess it's the two issues I've been talking about which have been lacking up to now. The focus on service and morale and motivation. And the team are really dedicated to making certain that we get this right going forward. As I said, if we're going to have this philosophy of a service provider with care at its heart, both the service to the customer and morale and motivation need as much addressing as ongoing consistent profit does.
Well, there's certainly been no shortage of progress on the Interaction journey, and it looks like it's getting results. We'll be revisiting things in the new year when the next set of survey findings will reveal one way or the other whether the lie of the land really has changed and how.
Now this is the bit where we take a quick look at what NUI is doing in the world at large. September's terrorist attack in America shocked the world and touched many people in many ways. NUI customers caught up in the USA were assisted by a specially set up 24-hour helpline to support them in paying for additional accommodation costs and extending their travel insurance while stranded. The Foreign Office also approached NUI to supply travel insurance for relatives of the victims who had been going to America immediately after the event. This was provided at no charge by NUI as a gesture of sympathy and support. A small team in NUI continues to consider the medium-term implications of the terrorist attacks on travel, personal accident and commercial insurances as the whole insurance market adjusts to the scale of the losses. We asked Ken Wallace, Intermediary Business Director, what impact he thought the events of September the 11th might have on premiums.
Well, most companies took a very heavy global hit on the 11th of September, and that has put great pressure on their capacity. And if you add the reinsurers, who themselves had a huge outlay on the WCT, as companies are negotiating reinsurance treaties at the moment, then premiums are going up. Now, the premiums have to be put back to the policyholder, and there are going to be some sizable increases. Just how much they'll be, we don't know, but we're certainly talking well into double figures.
Online news now, 30 brokers have signed up to NUI's online services pilot, which is part of the PASS, or Partner Self-Service Programme. Online Services is a new web-based facility which gives brokers direct access to the Next 201 policy admin system for personal lines business over the internet. Now a startling statistic. Did you know that 1 in 20 motor vehicles on Britain's roads is uninsured? This costs the insurance industry around £400 million every year and, more importantly, means honest motorists can pay between £15 and £30 extra in insurance premiums to compensate for the cheating drivers. NUI is leading the way in combating the problem by teaming up with the government and the police on a project called MIIC, or Motor Insurance Information Centre. All insurers send up-to-date information to a central database which the police can then access by using vehicle registration numbers at the roadside to determine whether a vehicle is insured or not. Already, police are making 20,000 inquiries per day by accessing the database. Publicity around the initiative has already kicked off, so keep an eye out for posters on billboards fronted by Nick Ross from BBC Crime Watch. NUD News now, and an innovative new pilot has started inviting up to 40,000 NUD customers to participate in a free 6-month SMS text messaging trial. Customers who received a free mobile phone as an incentive for buying NUD motor or home insurance and agree to take part will receive up to 12 text messages promoting a variety of other NUD products and services. The trial runs for 6 months and is being viewed as a potential route to market if results are successful.
1, 2, 3.
Have you ever loved and lost somebody?
Staying with NUD, staff from the Norwich call centre have been making and breaking records by featuring among the 1 million voices on S Club 7's single for children in need. More than 100 tuneful volunteers performed outside the call centre live on local radio and were featured in the local press and TV news bulletins. Stars, every single one of them. And as in previous years, NUD call centres provided volunteer support in taking pledge calls on the Children in Need evening. Rangers Football Club have teamed up with NUI's corporate partners business to score discounted home, motor and travel deals for their fans. For every policy taken out with NUI, 10% of the policy premium will be contributed to Rangers Youth Development Programme, supporting grassroots talent for the future. Good news from Business Solutions and the announcement of an accelerated rollout programme to install Pulse, giving intranet access to all desktops and NUI locations by the end of the year. The Mix caught up with Alex Robinson to find out more.
Well, the Pulse is the most important communication mechanism we've got. We've got 45,000 pages online. That's about 20 copies of War and Peace. When we add the product information online, it's going to be about 200,000 pages. Everybody needs access to that information to do their jobs. And what we want to do is to make it available to people. What we're going to do is install the Pulse on the server computers at the hub of our regional network. Once we've put it onto those computers, those 5,000 people will get the Pulse on their desktop. There are about 120 people who just haven't got the right sort of computer on the desk, and we're going to have to replace their equipment. There's another 400 or so who work in brokers' offices who aren't going to get the Pulse because we don't want to make it available into the public domain, i.e. a broker's office. So we'll find other ways to connect them to the network.
And finally, how much fun do you have at work? A survey of more than 200 offices by sweet company Haribo has found that 1 in 3 employees claim to have fun throughout their working day. Nearly half say they find something to laugh about at least twice a day. More than a quarter of people will go out for drinks with colleagues and consider their workmates to be friends. So is it one big fabulous fun factory out there in the world of NUI? Well, I've been making some friends myself. Well, talking to people to find out.
Fun. Oh, every day.
Do you have friends here or are they just workmates?
Friends? Well, some of the ladies like to class as lovers, but they don't know that.
Yes, we have fun at work.
Okay, now be honest, do you have fun? No, you do?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah? You do?
Yeah.
I mean, the most exciting thing, you know, that probably happened lately was when I swapped someone's elastic bands with the paper clips.
They're all colleagues and they're mates.
They are as well?
Yeah.
Right, I mean, would you go out, you socialise together?
Yeah, we have done.
Yeah, regrettably.
Once was enough.
Yes.
But no, we have done.
Okay.
What makes me laugh at work?
It's a difficult question, really. Just trying to think.
We've had lots of requests from people in claims to feature something on their area of the business. So when the Mix heard about a new initiative going on to save £100 million through sourcing and supply, well, it was the perfect excuse for Richard to go investigate the wonderful world of claims.
Here you go, way too fast. Don't slow down, you're gonna crash. You should watch your step. Don't look out, gonna break your neck. So no, 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 no. You're gonna crash. No, 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 no,
Hello there. Hello. For most of us, of course, life just saunters along rather nicely, doesn't it, with no great disasters. But sometimes, just sometimes, problems do happen. And that's when we need help. NUI policyholders at least have the comfort of knowing they're covered by the country's leading insurer, with skilled claims staff who know just how to handle things. This is the front line of insurance, the bit where the customer actually experiences what they've paid for. What happens here is hugely important in terms of NUI's reputation. Get it right and you have an impressed, loyal customer. Get it wrong and they're off down the high street at renewal time taking their chequebook and poor opinion of NUI with them. So, claims handlers, saviours or devils? Who are these mysterious creatures on whom so much depends? Well, here are some facts. NUI has around 33 claim sites throughout the UK, handling the main areas of motor, household, commercial and personal injury. They handle more than £3.8 billion worth of claims annually. The average age of claims handlers is just 21, with 30% male and 70% being female. Claims handling's improved greatly in the last 5 years through enhanced technology. By far the biggest impact, though, has been made by the introduction of the total incident management concept pioneered by Norwich Union, considerably shortening the life of a claim and ensuring the customer gets seamless support. Claims Director Simon Machell explains.
Total incident management is not about making a claim. When something happens to a customer, they want to get back to normal. They want to get back to the position they were in before they made the claim. Our job during that process is to give them the help and benefit and guide them through that process to get them back to the position they were in before. The business benefits of total incident management are based around using our preferred suppliers. When somebody makes a claim, we're able to then take the claim from the beginning and direct it into our preferred supplier network. That means that we can get discounts from those guys by giving them volumes of work to do. From our point of view, that creates good value for the organisation, and also from the customer's point of view, using one of our preferred suppliers means they get a certain standard of service which we can guarantee to the customer.
To give you an idea of the scope of TIM, about half of NUI's £3.8 billion claims bill is spent through the supply chain. And this is where the new Sourcing and Supply Initiative comes in. By expanding and streamlining the supplier process, establishing preferred suppliers and making the most of NUI's sheer purchasing power, the aim is to save around £100 million by the end of 2001. I asked Director of Claims Sourcing and Supply, Graham Boffey, what kind of stuff these preferred suppliers actually supply.
Our preferred suppliers offer everything from motor repair, property repair, through jewellery and fishing tackle to personal injury help. Our annual spend on CDs, for example, would keep Ibiza going for an entire summer. Everything from Kylie Minogue to Roger Whittaker.
Now, we all know about the £100 million savings you're hoping to achieve. Where's that going to come from?
From Norwich Union being smart about the way it uses its volume. That means Clubline, NUD call centres and claims handlers all using preferred supply network.
Isn't it a bit risky leaving so much claims delivery in the hands of suppliers when they could mess customers around and damage their reputation, couldn't they?
Norwich Union already used lots of suppliers. What we've tried to do is take a massive step towards organising those suppliers more effectively. We can now focus on price and service, and each of those suppliers will go through a regular performance review in the course of a year.
So, NUI is leading the industry again, both in terms of claims efficiency and customer service. It's a constant balancing act, really, isn't it, between keeping costs down and providing the best service to customers. I mean, selling the promise is one thing, but as NUI recognises, delivering is the thing you really have to crack.
Well, that's almost it for this time, but with Christmas just around the corner and this, our last programme of the year, we thought we couldn't go without hearing from the NUI board about what's been their biggest cracker of 2001.
Or their biggest turkey.
The best and worst were actually the same thing from my point of view, and that was conversion. During January, we saw that we had a few problems, but what was exciting was the way everybody pulled together and we sorted the problems out very, very quickly. And really throughout the year, we've either been on target or beaten it. I'm really looking forward to us fixing some of those processes we've put in place so that everybody can do their job better and easier, and we can actually focus on being able to give good customer service.
I guess the best thing for me has been the people. The people have had to work so hard this year through all the change. It's made me really proud of what they've achieved, both from my point of view and from the company's point of view. I guess the most disappointing thing has been the service. We've not offered the level of service that I'd feel satisfied with throughout the year. I think we've built a really firm base in 2001. 2002, I hope to build on that base, continue to control our claims costs, but also improve the service we offer to customers.
We've secured new contracts, improved contracts and long-term contracts with Abbey National, MBNA, National Australia Group, Lloyds TSB and Saga. A tremendous achievement, I think. The disappointment has to be losing Barclays Household. My hope is that by the end of 2002, we've emerged as the clear market leader and the company that the major brands in the UK want as their general insurance partner.
My personal high, absolutely no doubt, was being appointed to the executive team of NUI. I took a great deal of personal pride in that appointment. Professional high certainly was the delivery of the half-year results to the city. My personal low is probably around GISC. I sponsor the GISC programme around NUI, and I guess it's disappointing we haven't been able to fully implement the programme because of a legal challenge. We've delivered great results in the first half of 2001, and in 2002 I'd like to see us do it again and again so that the whole organisation gets the credit it really deserves.
The best of 2001 has been the major achievements that we've made in NUI. The really good work that's gone on in Into Action, the bringing together of a number of different systems, bringing two payrolls into one, for instance. The downside has been how hard everybody's had to work to achieve that and how tough that's been. My hopes for 2002 are that we can really improve customer service standards and we can raise morale and motivation in the business.
The best of 2001 undoubtedly are people. They were hugely resilient in what was a very difficult and challenging year. The worst part, I think, broker service. We were extremely difficult to trade with last year, and particularly around accessibility. I think brokers knowing who to speak to and where these people were very difficult. I honestly believe that this time next year we will have some fantastic results to report on.
Well, my cracker for 2001 was the Business Solutions event. That was our first departmental conference. And we ended up in a cattle shed because there just wasn't enough room at the inn for everybody. Just about the same time as we had that event in the cattle shed, foot and mouth broke out. And we just escaped being quarantined and locked up in there for the rest of the year. Yeah, my hope for 2002 is that we are going to keep delivering technology for people. We're going to deliver solutions that work.
I think we're really starting to demonstrate market-leading behaviours within the marketing and underwriting area. We still haven't got the connectivity right between businesses and between areas, and we really need to work on the communication so we don't operate within silos. I really hope that we now, in the marketplace, become Norwich Union, the leading insurance company.
The best things about 2001 were migration and conversion for operations, also Project Firework, which has been a great success. But the thing I personally got most out of was the branch visits I did. As for worst, in 2001, probably the broker satisfaction scores, which despite our great service, still aren't coming through as satisfactory. My hopes for 2002 are to improve the staff scores on the Interaction survey and to welcome the CP operations staff into the operations team.
The best thing in 2001 was the way we worked together during the integration. And from a personal point of view, the best thing in 2001 was to stop commuting to Bristol from Norwich. In terms of the worst thing in 2001, well, the world became a riskier place, didn't it? In terms of 2002, I think that's going to be an exciting year. I think that's the year we begin to reduce NUD's dependency on motor insurance.
As Chief Executive, I guess I'd like to remember two big highs this year. The first is undoubtedly the way the teams pulled together to overcome the issues we encountered early on in the conversion programme. And secondly, the pride I felt as being part of the team that delivered into the marketplace some extremely impressive numbers at the half year. Undoubtedly, in my mind, the low point was when I realised just the size of the mountain that we all had to scale when we set about merging these two companies. I guess my aspiration for 2002 is to be as successful in delivering improvements in service and morale and motivation as we've been in delivering the benefits of the merger this year. The message I'd like to leave with everyone is a huge appreciation for the amount of hard work that everybody's put in, an enormous thank you for everyone's efforts, and a real pleasure that everyone will be enjoying the 4+4 bonuses at the end of the year.
Well, that really is it for this edition of The Mix. We hope you enjoy the forthcoming festivities and get what you really want for Christmas. We'll be back with more news and views from around NUI in the new year.
Oh, and can I just add that Laura is expecting a huge flurry of Christmas cards from her official fan club in Lincoln. Remember, you can send me some, please. Usual contact details are coming up. Goodbye.
Goodbye and
Merry
Christmas.